Well, this doesn't look too good. Volunteers working to save nearly 100 beached whales in Australia, but more than half have died. It's not good at all. Volunteers are working frantically on a second day to save dozens of pilot whales that have stranded themselves on a beach in Western Australia, but more than 50 have already died. In Perth, Australia, volunteers worked frantically on a second day, Wednesday, to save dozens of pilot whales that have been stranded themselves on the beach in Western Australia, but more than 50 have already died. I've heard that 3 times now. Nearly 100 long-finned pilot whales stranded themselves Tuesday on a beach by the city of Albany on the southern tip of Western Australia, south of Perth. They were first spotted swimming Tuesday morning near Shanes Beach, east of Albany. As the day progressed, the pod began moving closer to the beach, sparking the concern of conservation officers. By 4 p.m., a large stretch of the shoreline was covered in beached whales. Reece Whitby, Western Australia's environmental minister, said it is particularly frustrating because it's not known why the phenomenon occurs. What we're seeing is utterly heartbreaking and distressing, he told reporters. It's just a terrible, terrible tragedy to see these dead pilot whales on the beach. 52 whales had perished, and volunteers are doing what they can to try to save the 45 still alive, he said. People are committed to doing what they can to save as many whales as they can, Whitby said. Western Australia State Department of Biodiversity, Conservation and Attractions set up an overnight camp to monitor the whales. Peter Hartley, a manager from the department, told the Australian Broadcasting Corp that volunteers were trying to get the living whales back in the water and encourage them to swim away. We are optimistic that we will save as many as we can, Hartley said. What? I mean, this time it didn't have anything to do with people, luckily. But, why? Is it just because they were swimming in shallower water and the tide went out and they didn't realize how shallow they were getting? Why would they just swam way too far up an area they thought would stay deeper and it didn't, and the water just disappeared on them? Is that what happened? It doesn't make any sense. The team, so did they really beach themselves? Like, they didn't swim up to the beach and just launch themselves out of the water. They just kind of just chilled there. In this photo provided by the Department of Biodiversity, Conservation and Attractions, a pod of long-finned pilot whales gathered closely near Shanes Beach in East Albany Tuesday before stranding. So would they all just decide to strand themselves at once, or were they just chilling there and the water just disappeared? That's sad. It looks like a bunch of olives. Looks like a bunch of olives in the water. Oh, gosh. The team tasked with helping the whales included Perth Zoo veterinarians and marine fauna experts. They have been using specialized equipment, including vessels and slings. So they got a boat with a sling on it, and they put it around the whale and just dragged it in a different direction. Is that what they did? Hundreds of volunteers also offered to help. So many that officials said they had enough registered volunteers and urged other members of the public to stay away from the beach. Drone footage released by the department showed the whales clustering and forming into a heart shape before stranding themselves on the beach. Also, they did strand themselves. This is just an amazing event, Joanne Marsh, the owner of Shanes Beach Caravan Caravan Park told the ABC, "We've never seen anything quite like this." Wildlife experts said the unusual behavior of the whales could be an indicator of stress or an illness within the pod. Oh, so they did literally beach themselves. Pilot whales are highly social animals and often maintain close relationships with their pods throughout their lives. Macquarie University wildlife scientist Vanessa Perrotta said that the drone footage could suggest the whales had become disoriented, although she said the exact reasons for mass strandings remain unclear. Now, I've made this statement before. Also, by the way, before I go any farther, make sure you like, because it really helps in the algorithm, all that good stuff. You know, you guys do great. I love the guys that come here and comment all the time. You guys are the reason I keep on doing this. Let's see if we can get some more people in here. Share, get the word out that I do animal news every single day. Who else does animal news every single day? Come on, let's get it going. She said she thought it is unlikely the whales were trying to avoid a predator. They often have a to follow the leader type mentality, and that can very much be one of the reasons why they are stranding and not just one but many, Perota said. The incident is reminiscent of one in September in which 200 pilot whales died after a pod stranded itself on a remote west coast of Tasmania off Australia's southeastern coast. The following month, nearly 500 pilot whales died after stranding themselves on 2 remote beaches in New Zealand. Geez, these things just like to commit suicide. Maybe they are the cult of the whale world. That's my thought, is that they have their own religions, and these, you know how, like, now this is just conjecture. This obviously, don't take this as fact. I don't really think this way, but I like to think of what are the possibilities. And what if these whales are like the loony bins of the whale world, the cetacean world, and like, because they travel in such large groups, all of a sudden, you know, they have like religious experiences. They believe in like whatever religion it is, and you know, a Cthulhu is a giant whale or whatever it is. And instead of drinking the Kool-Aid, you know, eventually they get to the point where, because there's so many of them, they all decide, okay, we're going to go meet our whale god now. They just strand themselves on the beach, and because there's so many of them, they're just like, well, this is what we're going to do. You guys ready? We're going to go do it. That is almost certainly not what's happening. But it's just an interesting theory that to think that we're the only ones who have like religious points of view. And even if we're crazy, the people who do those things like drink the Kool-Aid are crazy. I have no qualms about that. If you think that killing yourself to go meet your savior is what you need to do, you're freaking mental. But with all that being said, what if the whales, what if that's their thing? And the pilot whales are just the extremists of the cetacean world. Oh my gosh. It's probably not true. Most likely not true. It's just it's just not even conjecture. Oh my God, I can't even think of the word. It's just, it's a joke. But anyway, this is a very sad situation. I'm trying to make light of topics by laughing about it. But really, it sucks. I mean, there must be a lot of pilot whales out there, if there's hundreds of them killing themselves at once and they're not really concerned about their well-being. I mean, I guess there's a lot of them. I wonder if they can eat them. Like, in all seriousness, if they all did this, it's fresh meat. Can you feed these to people? Or is that considered a no-no? I mean, I'm sure there's people who would like to make some oil out of this. I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Keep it wild.